Deborah Whitfield, CEO, team owner of Carolina Upstate Thunder here in Greenville, South Carolina. So today we have with us Nicole Wood. I know y'all want to know who is Nicole Wood. So listen, from Gastonia, North Carolina, played at Belmont Abbey for 4 years, accomplished many things. Division II Bulletin All-American team, honored, for a senior year campaign, averaging 24 points at Bowen Abbey, voted CVAC Player of the Year, best conference, right?
That's it. That's it.
First team all-league slot, junior and senior year, third national of 8 assists. Hey, you was throwing that rock to me. I was involved in that.
That's right.
Junior season. And also in the 100-point club, lead fourth in that school record, where you averaged 76 during 2005 and 6. So hey, that's a lot. Also played in England, right, Nicole?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Where she actually was second lead in scoring and first in assists over there. So that's welcome, Nicole Wood.
Man, I ain't even pay you to say all of that, Bunch, man. I'm sorry, Javor. Look, we call her Bunchy.
We Javor. That's it. That's all right. Bunchy, everybody know. So, first topic, man. Let's get in.
Okay.
So, how you feel about today's athlete versus now athletes? I mean, like back then, like where we were versus the athletes now.
Right.
They were more disciplined. Let's talk about how compare the work ethic and the commitment and the heart. What you think? Let's see.
Yeah. I mean, they're very different. Everybody wants to blame the kids, but I blame the parents. As parents, they try to give their kid everything that they didn't have, and they forget to give them what they did have.
Right.
You think about it, like when we came through, it wasn't a lot of AAU opportunities for us. It wasn't a lot of opportunities to play, period, other than playing with the boys.
Right.
And because of that, we were a tougher group. You think about it, we grew up playing outside on the asphalt.
Right, dirt,
all of that. There wasn't nobody falling. You pay attention how these kids fall now. We ain't fall like that because your skin was gonna be on the ground when you got back up.
Right. Right.
So I just, they're just that they are very different. We come from a blue collar, work ethic type mentality. Tough as nails, go as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Type of mentality. And these kids, they're just, they've been handed a lot of things, and by the time they get to us, this is the first time they really had to work for anything and not just had something handed to us. Like, you remember when we were at the Abbey, we didn't get our gear until we passed the fitness test.
Right. You got to get that mile in.
You had to get that mile in, like now, they get in there in July. It's like Christmas in July, with all the stuff they get. That's just an example.
Yeah.
I get it. So they're very different. They do have, talent-wise, I would say they're probably a little bit more talented than what we were. But when you start, break it down to the nuts and bolts of it, that ticker, that heart,
Yeah. That's what I mean. I figured, because like me, just looking at the kids now, in high school, I'm like, man, I just don't see it. Like, I'm like, where the kids at? What every group? Because I just, when I came up, I mean, you can find an athlete everywhere. They would like, hey, I got to go see this girl over here. I got to go see, they were just everywhere. So that's why I wanted to ask you kind of, went there.
Think about it like this too. Back when we were playing, basketball was really the only thing to do. Like, there was no other sports. Now you're competing with volleyball.
Okay.
Which has become a lot bigger, and a lot of opportunities in terms of scholarships and things like that. So the players have more options now too, in terms of sports than what they did.
That makes sense.
Than what we did, because we didn't play no volleyball,
Right. Nobody played that.
No, we didn't play no volleyball.
So, like, when you was coming up, Cole, like, who did you look up to, like, as a player when you were coming up?
So I would say when I was coming up, like when I was little, there was a guy, his name was Cornelius Boogie Crank. And he was a guy from Gastonia that had played professional and everything, came back and ran the Boys and Girls Club that I went to. So he was the first one to really put the ball in my hand. He moved me from the girls team after the first practice and was like, nah, you playing with the boys. And
with the boys.
Yeah, I played with them from the time I was like 8 until I went to middle school. I didn't even know how to play with girls. So he was my big inspiration growing up, just he ended up tragically dying in a house fire. And he was my inspiration growing up. I would say once I got of age and then the WNBA came around in like 98, my two favorite players, Cynthia Cooper will always be my favorite player. She was my inspiration for sure. And then being, in Charlotte with the Charlotte Sting, you can't not like Don Staley and Andrea Stinson. Exactly. Everybody wanted to be Stint. Everybody wanted to be Stint. So I love those players growing up, and I think I played a lot like Stint,
Everybody compare your game to Stint. I remember, being up there, everybody's like, she, remind me of Andrea Stinson.
Yep. That's who I tried to play like, because we were kind of similar. So those were probably some driving influences for me.
Got you. So coming up or whatever, how would you give athletes, how important do you think the balance in the life to an athlete?
Like a student athlete, or you just saying like
athletes, period, whether they're in the professional or collegiate, like how important is balancing?
I think it's important to have a balanced life in general. I think that of course all of us are ballers life, but at some point the ball is going to stop bouncing, and so you have to have some other things that you are passionate about, whether it's family, whether it's some business endeavors, whatever it is. I think it's easy because see, basketball is a year-round sport. If you look at all of the sports in college athletics right now, basketball is the only sport that goes within 2 semesters.
Right.
Everything else is either a spring or a fall sport. And so I think, being able to have a good balance of things to kind of keep you centered is important, because you can easily get burnt out. And folks are like, how can you get burnt out? It's a game you love. Easy, just like you get burnt out at work, You might love your job.
Yes, exactly.
But it's important. I do think it's important. And it's one of the reasons why I've been at Charlotte as long as I have, because my boss is great with balance. She's got 2 kids herself. And so she is, very big on spending time with family and doing, other things outside of basketball. And I think that's important.
Good. So with what I do, Women's Professional Basketball League, trying to get these players some looks, trying to get them to advance to the other level. For as the recruiting, what do you, as a recruiter, look for in players in general,
Yeah, in general, I always say people, like it's going to be a given. Like if somebody can pass, if they can shoot, if they can, dribble, right? Triple threat. Like you're going to be able to know right off if they can do that stuff. But see, I pay attention to the other things, like when I go to recruit a kid, a lot of times I don't even go with nothing with my school name or nothing. I just go sit and don't even let them know I'm coming, because I want to see who they really are, because like I want to see how you interact with your coaches. I want to see how you interact with your teammates. I want to see, like, are you passionate about what you do? I want to see, are you going to go the extra mile? Are you diving on the floor for the loose ball?
Right.
Are you being bunchy out there, D'ing them up, or you just wanting to score the ball? I pay attention to all of the intangible things, because I think at the end of the day, like once you become a collegiate athlete, especially, like it's a job. Just like your players, professional, it's a job. So you have to really love what you're doing. And if you don't love what you're doing, then you're going to cut corners on the things that are important. Are you cheering your teammates on? Are you accountable to when you make a mistake? My bad. Look, that was me. Are you tough? Are you going to step in and take a charge, or you going to let that girl go by?
Right.
Like just those types of things. Do you give your coach eye contact? When they're talking to you. I'm telling you, most of the time I can't even tell you who won or lost the games I go to.
Because you getting every detail. And I find that, I mean, that's really great because, you know, most recruiters, they just want the player and then they find out everything else once the player get there, you know, on that, those very things you're talking about.
Because, see, I'm the one that's going to have to deal with them.
That's it.
I'm the one that's going to have to be babysitting, you know, if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So if you do your work on the front end, you don't have to worry about it as much on the back end.
I agree. So with you playing professional, you know, ball, and I'm sure you know, traveled the world a little bit. What's your opinion about the women professional league? You know, is there a need for it, or is there not? Like, what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I do think there's a need for it. You know, I think that there are a lot of players out here that can play, that don't go overseas right away and that aren't playing in the WNBA. Right. And they just don't have, you know, there's a lot of different, you know, variables to why they don't get there. But the point is that there is a market for them, I think. And after they're done playing, like for me, when I was done. Like, I was burnt out. But then some still want to play, you know. And so giving them an opportunity to continue to hone their crafts to see if they can then, like you said, get opportunities at the next level. Because I always say, like, we can't recruit kids if we don't know about them. Right. Same thing with the professionals. If they don't know about these kids, then they can't recruit them, or they can't go after them. And so I think any type of platform that's going to foster any type of togetherness and any type of opportunity for them to continue to advance their career, absolutely, I think there's a need for it.
Right. So what's the best advice you can give a player who's getting discouraged, losing patience, waiting on that phone call, you know, because I've been there, you know, it's I need to know what they think. I'm ready now, you know. So you get discouraged when you don't get those phone calls to that tryout or whatnot, or to, you know, you don't work all season conditioning, right. Whether that's mentally, physically, you know, you right. trying to get to that next step.
Right. I would say, well, number one, you got to stay ready, you know, even though, you know, it hasn't happened yet. You don't want it to happen and then you not be ready. Right. So you need to be in shape. You need to be doing everything so that when that phone call comes, you're ready. And then I would also say, I think agents are important. You know, I was fortunate, you know, the person who I ended up playing for, but I don't know if you knew this, I played against her at Coker. She was a player at Coker and went back to her home country of England and ended up being a player coach for the team and needed a point guard. Oh. And I had been out of here. Like I told you, I was done. I ain't playing no more. and then, you know, once you're away from it, you're like, man, I should have went and played, you know, and got the phone call. And that's how I got overseas.
Yeah, that's actually, I mean, when I got the tryout to Sweden, that was because of JJ. On our team, she played for the, you know, the league there or whatever, in the minor league. So she was like, I'm telling you, come over here, whatever. But man, like, I was so burnt out. I was like, you know what? I need to go home.
You need to go? That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, it be like that, you know, like, I loved the game too, but you know, my senior year was so hard. You remember all the transfers we had left out, and it was just tough. It was so mentally, I had insomnia that year. I mean, it was just tough for me, and
I mean, I applaud you. I mean, being there, seeing you, I mean, all the transitions that you actually did, went from the losing weight, the eating habits, the lifestyle, you eat and lived it, you know. So I mean,
I tell my players all the time, I said, look, y'all can't come up with nothing that I ain't already done or tried.
Nothing. I'm telling you, like, this girl, I mean, I seen it, you know, with my own eyes, how hard you work, how, you know, motivated you were. I know times, I know you didn't want to get up at 5 a.m. I didn't want to get up at 5 a.m. I know you wanted to eat pizza with us, but man, you stuck to it. Like, I mean, you was that, you know, that thrill in it. So man, I know what you went through. So yeah.
All of us couldn't be this big like you, you know.
I know, right?
Eat whatever. I'd be so mad. I be so mad. Here come everybody else, and I'm good, y'all.
Oh, everything. But not only that, man. I mean, you would stay in the gym. I did that like my freshman and sophomore year, man. But I mean, when you become, you know, so comfortable, I mean, those things, I mean, they're easy to do away. But I mean, you got in there, the gym. I mean, I'd be in my room probably watching TV or somewhere else. But I know you in the gym, throwing them up, shooting 100, 200, shots a day, and it showed. I mean, your junior and senior year and sophomore year. I mean, you were the player. So with that, man, another question, our last question, that we'll have. Give some advice to some players who actually want to go to college and play, and not really getting those looks. What would you tell them? I mean, because with this pandemic going on, I mean, seniors that just didn't get it. So
I feel bad for them, man.
Yeah, like what's your input on that?
It's a tough situation right now. What I would say is, number one, again, be ready, be in shape, continue to work on your game the best you can. And then schools that you're interested in, reach out to like the recruiting coordinators or whoever's in charge of the recruiting on the staffs directly. Not a recruiting service, not none of that. Like, I'll be honest, when I watch most film that comes through, even before the pandemic. But when it comes through from a recruiting agency and stuff like that, I don't read it. Because to me, I ain't going to say it's lazy, but it's lazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go on Google and you can find out, all right, I'm interested in UNC Charlotte. Nicole Wood is the recruiting coordinator. Let me draft this email up myself and send it. That shows like initiative to me, and like send out film to the schools that you're interested in. Send out a highlight film and a game film. Both of them, so that I can watch the highlight. If I like what I see with the highlight, I can then just watch the game film and don't have to go back and forth with you to go ahead and get it. But and just continue to try to push yourself the best way you can. It's just an unprecedented time right now. But if this is what they want to do, they can't just give up on it because it's tough.
Right.
They got to figure out a way. That's what we did, Right. Look, this is about to be the way to make them resilient right here. We're gonna find out the ones who want to play, exactly, who really want to play, and those who just playing just to be part of a social group.
Right. Good, man. Well, I appreciate everything you did, man. It was good catching up with you. Thank you again for doing this interview. I won't take up your time, whatever it is. A good day to celebrate and be with family, right?
That's right. That's right. And if I can do anything to help y'all in the meantime, you let me know.
All right. Check us out next year, next season.
All right now.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.